Welcome everybody to another batch of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user GreenIDX. That's GreenIDX, and he is driving the Su-85 on a standard battle on the airfield, and the Su-85 is obviously the Tier 5 tank destroyer for the Russians. Surprisingly enough, no announcements for today, so apart from... oh, well, maybe one quick announcement. I seem to be lacking medium tank replays. I'm getting plenty of heavies, a couple of lights, which is pretty good considering that we are not doing the Chaffee Break series anymore, and we're getting good tank destroyer and artillery replays, but I seem to be lacking any good medium tank replays. So if you guys have got some decent medium tank replays, please get those sent into the usual address, which is replay@screenreality.com. That is replay@screenreality.com, and we'll do our best to get as many of those turned into awesome videos as we can. And as always, a big congratulations to the winner of the last thumbnail competition, the Guess the Tank and Map. Of course, it was the T110E5 on Ruinberg, so a big congratulations to everybody who got that correct, and a particular congratulations to the winner, which was Liam Dawson. So congratulations to Liam Dawson for correctly identifying first that it was indeed the T110E5 on Ruinberg. So the game at hand, obviously being a tank destroyer, Green is just camping at the back here, hiding in a bush and waiting for anybody to show their face along this central part here. Sometimes you can catch out a light tank or a quick medium trying to make a break through the centre there and maybe come up on the hill from, well, get into a nice hull down position in that area there, and sometimes you can catch them off guard if you're able to get into that bush quick enough. Unfortunately, nobody's really seeming to go that way. Instead, the enemy appears to be pushing on this left-hand flank in the north here. So Green just going to be going up to support his platoon mate there. And these two are going to see what they can do about this enemy push. Finds a Panzer III trying to make a break along the sand there, but ooh, a bit unlucky there to just get a critical hit. And he's going to have to drop back before he takes any more damage, because the Su-85, as you can see by its hit points, is pretty breakable, and that armour isn't particularly well sloped on the sides. Anybody who's driven the Su-85 knows that it's not able to take much of a kicking. I've only recently gotten rid of this tank myself, upgrading to the Su-100, but I did have a lot of fun in this thing. It is a good tank destroyer to drive. It's got a good balance of top speed, agility, and the cannon on it is pretty good all round. It's got decent penetration, and it has a very good rate of fire. Oh, just getting around the back of this Hetzer here. Able to take him out, picking up 2 quick kills in quick succession there, catching the Hetzer off guard and just putting a round into the back of him and ending his game. So going to be pushing all the way up this northern area here and going to be sneaking around directly up the centre while the while the heavy tanks come up to support. Going to see, I think that was a T-82 up in the bushes there, so we're going to see if we can catch him off guard. I'm not sure if he's got Sixth Sense or not. Maybe he has and he hasn't been spotted, or maybe he hasn't but still hasn't been spotted, because this T-82 just isn't paying attention, and that's what he gets for not paying attention. Gets himself eliminated. That's 4 kills now for GreenIDX. So just going to come up and take the spot where the T-82 was hiding, make the bush his own, and now going to punish this KV-1 for again not being aware of what's going on around him. That KV-1 should have probably started to fall back when realised that the Su-85 was attacking the T-82 on the hill and trying to get himself into a better position. In fact, he probably should have just pushed against that T-34 over that way there and then gone around the rocks, and that would have given him protection from the Su-85 here. And it would have also netted him a nice kill on that T-34. But you know what they say about hindsight being 20/20. So just able to take out that BDR there without taking too much damage in return. It looks like most of that was soaked by his track, and then the other one was just a no damage. Either it bounced or it was another critical on his other track. Not really sure. So the game's going pretty well so far for them. The Allied team's doing pretty good, and the platoon mates are doing fairly well between them. 7 kills, and Green IDX having an awesome game so far. Already picked himself up a Top Gun medal, and there's still 4 enemy tanks remaining. So just going to be rolling into the base here. You're going to see who they can catch off guard. Looks like there's a Hetzer trying desperately to put up some kind of base defense. Just going to leave the T-34 to deal with him, as he probably should be able to have the best of that situation. Although it looks like he didn't, so Green's going to have to come back around and maybe try and get a hit on him from the side. But no, it's okay, because the KV-1 has now been able to take him out. So there's just a few tanks left for the enemy team. Allies just going to have a look around and see if they can find them somewhere. Going to be having a look in the usual arty spots, which are up on that little hill there. Sometimes you can find a tank destroyer there as well, but it looks like the tank destroyer is sort of more in the centre of the map. So we're just going to speed this one up until we get back into the action. Just going to be having a loop back towards their base in order to try and find the enemy artillery or the enemy KV-1. Looks like one of the Allied tanks, that Panzer III, looks like he's AFK in the back there. Or he's just camping for some reason. Not really sure what he's doing there. He's probably AFK, to be honest. So that's the KV-1 dealt with, so it's just down to the artillery and that Wolverine. Looks like the Wolverine is in the base, trying to put up some kind of base defense there. Oh, very nice blind shot on where he thought the Wolverine would have been. Just disappeared into the fog of war, and then Green just had a shot and was able to take him out blind, just based on judging where he thought he was going to be. So excellent little shot there to finish off that Wolverine and pick up kill number 8. So he's had a look in all of the usual artillery positions and hasn't been able to find anything. So they're now going to go and take a quick peek at the airfield. There he is. Has a shot at the Churchill 1 and is able to do some damage to him, but not quite enough to take him out. The Churchill 1 being a pal there and just backing off and allowing Green ID to pick up kill number 9. Absolutely selfless play there. 2 of them picking up 10 kills between them, and Green IDX having an absolutely awesome game there, picking up 9 all by himself and taking hardly any damage in the Su-85. So that's what happens when you ignore this little tank destroyer. It can prove to be a bit of a menace. So brilliant replay there from Green IDX. Thank you very much for sending that one in. And there's another replay coming right up. And our next replay is from the user Apeshit. That's Apeshit. And he's driving the Conqueror on a standard battle on the fjords, and the Conqueror being the tier 9 heavy tank for the British. Look at that thing. It's absolutely beautiful. And so just having a little bit of indecision at the start there, can't decide which direction to go. It looks like the Allies have actually got a pretty good split. Although it looks like he was too busy typing in the chat there and just drove into the hill. So it looks like everybody's gotten away in good positions. good amount of heavy tanks taking to the south, and a good amount of tanks spreading out across the central field and going to the north, although that IS-3 is a little bit out of, well, when I say a little bit, he's way out of position up there in the north. Probably going to try and get himself into some cover and try and take on anybody who decides to come from that northern pass. The problem with that is that relies on your allies in the field here being able to hold the enemy back so they don't just shoot you in the rear as you're making that move, and that requires some good coordination and teamwork, which isn't something that you find all too often in these random public games. ELC AMX making a break for it there to the rocks, able to get into position. Takes a hit from that T-34, but luckily not much damage getting through. This thing does have a decent amount of hit points for a Tier 9 at 1950. I think that's probably about the same as the VK45. Yeah, the one that leads onto the mouse. I think that one also has about 1950 hit points. So, but this thing not quite having the same armor, but it doesn't have a ridiculous turret mounted at the back of the tank, meaning that it is actually useful. Just having a little drive around, trying to get into a good position where he's able to get some good hits on the enemy without exposing himself too much. Just going to see if he can get a shot through the side of that T-34's turret. Unfortunately not quite able to make the shot that time. This one, however, no. Yes, nice. Able to finally get a shot through the thick side armor, well, thinner side armor of that turret on the T-34 and take him out. It looks like these two Tiger IIs have been successful in pushing this IS-3 back. The IS-3 losing a good chunk of his hit points in the process. Again, not really sure what that IS-3 was doing pushing up that far by himself. And in fact, he's been taken out now, which means that these two guys here are about to get pushed on by these two Tiger IIs. So they're probably going to have to drop back a little bit and try and get into a more defensive position. As you can see, that's exactly what Apeshit's doing here, dropping back, just getting himself into a hull down position and presenting just that turret armor to any would-be attacker that would come from the north there. Looks like his ally, the Tiger II, isn't having a good time of it either, as the enemy has pushed very heavily and they're now gone to that little overlook to try and offer some support to some of the guys in the south and trying to take out the tanks that push through the center there. Gets hit by the artillery there, unfortunately doing a good portion of his hit points and damaging that turret, his turret ring. So this thing isn't going to turn particularly quickly. Luckily, you can always use that body traverse to help augment that traverse speed. So Tiger II managed to get behind a rocket and get himself into cover. It looks like some of those tanks are trying to close in from behind them. It's down to just 37 hit points here. Ooh, that was lucky. Just about missing his shot, the IS-8 there. Apeshit knowing that Tiger II had his gun off target, so he was able to get in and then steal his hiding position behind these rocks. Just about to save his last 37 hit points. So getting himself out of a very dangerous situation there and coming out with a kill on top of it. So able to take out that Tiger II and then steal his hiding place. Game's not quite even at the moment. The enemy is currently winning at 9 kills to 7, but Apeshit is still alive. He's able to get a good chunk of damage on that IS-8 and then get back into his hiding place before he is able to return any damage. In fact, he's had his shot now. And that's kill number 4 for Apeshit, just taking him out when he had his gun off target. IS-8 probably should have used better, used the cover of those buildings a little bit better there. A little bit unfortunate that he was getting shot from a couple of different sides. So that looks like it's the field all dealt with, so Apeshit's just going to make a move to the centre of the map and try and offer some support, as it's still only even the game. Feels like the Allied team is winning a lot more than it currently is, just because they've been having some good success on their flank. Going to see if we can get a shot on the rear of this IS-3. Indeed he can, and that makes kill number 5. Still only got this 37 hit points as well. Looks like a sneeze or a strong wind from any direction would be enough to take him out at the moment. Got SU-152 doing the best he can to put up a determined defense against an IS, and what was that? Well, it doesn't matter because he's now dead, and so is the artillery, and that's kill number 6, and that is his Top Gun medal. Well deserved there by Apeshit, getting himself out of a difficult situation against 2 Tiger 2s and an IS-8, and picking up kills to boot. And this IS, if he plays it carefully, could probably, well, it would take 2 shots to take out that T-34 if he's got the top upgraded gun. Now, I was going to say, if he had the drop on the T-34, he possibly could have done it, and then it was only 1 more shot to take out the Conqueror of Apeshit here, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately, and gets himself taken out, and he becomes Apeshit's 7th kill. So absolutely awesome replay there from Apeshit, showing the power of the Conqueror, and showing you that you definitely shouldn't underestimate a tank with only 37 hit points left. So brilliant replay, thank you for sending that one in, and there's another one coming right up.
Move out.
And our next replay is from the user Aldernon. That's Aldernon, not to be confused with the planet of Alderaan, and he's driving the Batchat 25T on a standard battle on Corellia, the Batchat being the tier 10 medium tank for the French, the one with the auto-loader, the no armor, the small amount of hit points, and the ridiculous speed and maneuverability. Yes, that is indeed the one. So going to be making a beeline for this right-hand flank, but unfortunately gets a little bit blocked in by that E50 as he comes over the top of that rise and smashes his tracks off. So a little bit of an inauspicious start, losing 6 hit points and a little bit of time, because the speed of the Batchat meant that he would have been able to get towards and up to this hill pretty damn quickly, probably before any of the other guys. But as it is, not really being punished for that, as not taking any hits from the enemy. In fact, going to be using the aforementioned E50 as a little bit of cover as he makes his way up the hill. So this tank is able to kick out an insane amount of damage with the fact that it's got 5 rounds in this auto-loader here. As you can see, the Lorraine not standing a chance and getting taken out ridiculously quickly there. The Jagdpanzer E100 camped down the bottom of that hill. I was just about to say that 1390 has to be careful, because that E100 may be able to take him out in a single shot with that ridiculous alpha damage, unless he'd already fired at the E50. Not sure. Yes, it was. He picked up the kill on the E50, so he'd actually already fired. So Aldernon just going to leave the fighting on the hill to his allies, and he's going to sit on the ridge here and try and snipe somebody out, seeing if he can get a shot on this E75, but it looks like he's behind some rocks. And his counterpart, the other Batchat, actually just disappeared into the fog of war somewhere. So just going to play the waiting game and be patient. I'm going to see who he can spot out. This E75 stubbornly refusing to move, but he knows that that Batchat is around there somewhere, and there we go, just waiting for him to make his move. And you can see how quickly that reloads and how much damage that is able to do. Oh, just missing that one, and the Batchat starting to move, but being taken out there. So losing a good chunk of hit points there from one burst from the Batchat, but it does take an absolute age for this thing to reload. At 1390 doing a good job of just holding the top of the hill there, just dissuading anybody from making a move around the corner, because despite the fact it's only a light tank, it's still able to kick out a good amount of damage. Its gun has fantastic penetration and damage for a light tank. Seeing if you can spot out the artillery here, but it looks like they are playing careful. It looks like this Tiger II isn't playing careful though. He was probably stationed over on this left-hand flank here, saw how things were going in the north, and decided to be a pal and push over there and try and help out. Unfortunately, he's been spotted, going nowhere near fast enough, and that is going to be all she wrote. And good night. That's a Tiger II taken from 100 to 0. I think it was all from the Batchat here of Aldernon, but I cannot be certain. Someone else may have snuck a shot in there. So it looks like they've been handily beaten in the south here. The hill is about to be taken. As you see, the only other tank up there is a 1390, and he's not particularly healthy, and the other guys down on the ground, if they know what's best for them, are just going to make a run for it. So Aldernon doing just that, and going to be putting himself down the side of this cliff and making a break for the central swamp here. Got a couple of guys in the centre here, not really sure what that M103 is doing. It's not really many people he can snipe from the centre. Not sure what that mouse is doing either. It looks like he has been playing the camping game. It's all well and good defending the base from attack, but it's another thing just to sit at spawn and be absolutely useless for most of the game. But we never know, that mouse may prove to be the hero, considering that they have drastically lost that right-hand flank and lost control of that hill. Not quite able to get anything on this E5. Oh, there we go. Should be able to put some damage on him now. Oh, 0 damage critical. That just hurts. And there we go. The E100 was able to take him out in the end. So we're going to use this opportunity and this lull in the action to just reload his cannon. Going to speed this one up until some action actually happens. And that's the Allied artillery taken out, and the enemy is winning this one currently at 8 kills to 6. That mouse has decided to finally start making a move, but he's moving in the wrong direction. That M103 luckily has come over from the swamp in the centre there. Aldernon just trying to pick his shots carefully, because even his gun's got fantastic penetration, but the front armour on that E100 is fairly ridiculous. So he's going to have to play this one carefully. Just deciding to move around the side here and head up towards the base. As you can see, the guys on the left-hand flank there, the ones who won that flank pretty convincingly, are just pushing on towards the enemy base. So if these guys, if the mouse, the M103 and the Batchat here of Aldernon are able to hold them off, fingers crossed, this one should be a victory, even if it is by base capture. So we're going to see if we can get anything on this E100 here. He's got 1600 hit points still. And just deciding that he's not really going to be able to get too much damage on him. So decides just to leave him to the mouse. And maybe he'll come back and try and get some shots on his rear armour later. Spots out an IS-8. IS-8 was caught napping and eliminated. M103. Ooh, a little bit unfortunate that he wasn't able to get any actual damage on him there. But it looks like the M103 is running scared with only 171 hit points and is hiding behind that rock. And then the mouse decides to shoot him in the rear and take him out. So Aldernon just making a smart choice now of switching to the premium shells to try and deal with this E100 that's lurking around here. And this is why you should always bring some premium shells to the game, even if you just spend regular credits on them. Because when you come up against a situation like this, you want to be able to do something about it. It's a couple of good shots through the side there, and picks up kill number 4. So they were able to mount a good defense here. The mouse and the Batchat. Looks like an IS-8 has actually dropped back as well, but it looks like he's a little bit late to the party. But it also looks like the enemy has been able to do a good job of defending the base as well. Looks like they've got an IS-8 and a mouse back there, and that mouse looks like he's not really shifting, not close enough to tell how many hit points each one of them has got. As you can see, he's leaving the premium shells loaded here, because if he comes up against a mouse front on or even an IS-8, he's going to want to guarantee that he can put a shot through the front plate and do some damage. Oh, and they've got an T-95 here as well. So it looks like the enemy has been slightly better at the base defense than they have. But they've replied and taken out their artillery. Managed to get one shot on the T-95 through the top of his armour. It looks like that mouse is dueling with that E-100 now. The IS-8 dying off earlier. But this is where one of the big weaknesses of the Batchat starts to come into play. As you can see, he only has 9 rounds left, and that T-95 is over 1,000 hit points, and the mouse has about 1,600, if memory serves me right. So he's really got to make every single shot count. He's just using the time of the reload. Oh, it's got 2,500 hit points, so that's like 3,500 hit points he's going to have to try and chew through with just 9 rounds. Luckily, he's got that Allied mouse and that IS-8. In fact, the Allied mouse from earlier, the base camper, actually still on full hit points. So I did say he may end up proving to be the hero, and that may still be the case. Finds the T-95 making his way up the hill, and just going to use his brilliant speed and agility to just run rings around him. Oh, last one ricocheting there. He's got to make this one count. And he does indeed make it count. But again, he's down to just 4 rounds left, and he's got this huge reload delay to deal with. Allied mouse still pretty healthy, but that one's still on 2,400 hit points. To be honest, that IS-8 what he wants to be doing with his speed there is just coming straight up this road and going and sitting in the cap zone, and then maybe sneaking out and hitting the mouse in the rear. As it is, he's just going to lemming directly up against him face first, which is a little bit of a mistake. The IS-8's got a good amount of speed on him, so he really should be trying to flank around behind this mouse, or even just go for a base capture. Got to make every shot count here. And indeed, he's able to penetrate and damage with all 4 of his shots there, doing around about 1,600 points of damage. Unfortunately, you can see he still has 447 hit points left. The IS-8 disappeared. Actually, not sure where he went to. But this one looks like it's a bit of a foregone conclusion now. The Batchat just holding the attention of the enemy mouse, while the Allied mouse just is able to finish him off. So some excellent play there from Aldernon in the Batchat 25T. Medium tank picking himself up 6 kills, a Top Gun medal, and pretty much winning this one for his team, putting up a determined base defense and helping his allies kill off the last few tanks. So awesome replay from you. Thank you for sending that one in. And there's one more replay coming right up. And our final replay of the day is from the user Failware. That's Failware, and he's driving the T110E5 on an encounter battle on Ruinberg. And the eagle-eyed among you may notice that this is indeed the tank and the map, and in fact the game that the thumbnail for yesterday's video was taken from. So on to the game at hand. Going to be heading into the city where there's been an encounter battle. It's good to get some eyes and indeed some guns on that cap point early on, and maybe not rush straight down the front of the map. Obviously the medium tanks and 1 or 2 heavy tanks do want to head down there, and some tank destroyers want to keep some guns trained in that area, but it's never a good idea to send 90% of your team straight down the centre there to just meet head on in one big meat grinder. So it looks like Failware's the first one to show up at the cap zone here. None of the enemy team really trying to make a push, which is always good. In fact, nobody really getting a good position here, so Failware just going to come around the corner and get a good shot in the side of that Lorraine there. Going to punish them for not having a properly defended area. Obviously, with there being... oh, nearly. With there not having anybody around this church area. Well, they do now with this Tiger 2. Unfortunately, the Tiger 2 is going to take more damage in that exchange and they're going to be forced to fall back behind the church there, because there's no way a Tiger 2 can duel with an E5. That's just not a fight he's going to win. And it does mean that the allies can just sit in this area and push without too much worry, because the enemy's got nothing that can really punish them with. So most of them just staying grouped around this this street here, able to get another bit of free damage through the side of somebody else's tank, and then just going to back off into safety. I mean, where the enemy's sitting, that is a good defensive position. You can eliminate a lot of people from that area with the way the terrain lies, but you definitely need somebody on this corner here where Failware is and around the other side of the church, just so that the enemy can't sit here and shoot you in the side while you're trying to mount your defense, because that's not going to work out well, as you can see. Ooh, somehow bouncing on the turret of a Lorraine there. A little bit unlucky on the part of Failware, and that Tiger 2 just about getting out of position in time. He's going to push himself out, and able to get some more free damage onto somebody. Ooh, a massive shot coming in there from the artillery. That was very loud, so it was a very close hit, doing a decent amount of damage and blowing off both of his tracks. Tiger 2's not faring particularly well there. As you can see, he's trying to drop back a little bit, but it looks like the allies have actually lost the fight on the far right-hand flank. Not quite enough of the allied tanks actually went over there to deal with the enemy advance. So it looks like those two... it looks like those two tank destroyers are going to have to do something about it, and as I said that, they got blown up. So, losing 2 tanks in quick succession. But Failware able to take out the Jagdtiger from the side, picking up his first kill now of this match and evening the score a little bit, but it is still 6-4. They've started a base capture, but I think that's just incidental because somebody happens to be sitting there. I don't think they're actually going to try and finish this one. Just going to sit in there because that's the best position for them to be. They're going to have to start watching the rear now and the right hand flank, as there's some heavy tanks coming in from that direction. So the guys who are lagging behind the most in the city are probably going to have to switch the retention now and try and cover off the play some rear guard action and make sure that IS-7 and whoever the other tank is can't just push on them freely and take them by surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because everybody should be paying attention to their mini-map, although we know from experience that that doesn't always happen. Tiger 2 leaves himself lingering out a little bit too long and just gets punished for that one, and in fact didn't even land his shot, just rushed that one a little bit. So a little bit unfortunate from him, not even able to land any damage. Enemy artillery comes in but is highly inaccurate. T-28 prototype hiding behind a building there. He's got to be careful of that because that will hurt. Had a shot at the M103, knowing that he can drop back behind this rubble if necessary while his gun reloads, but it looks like the M103 is not wanting to leave his entrenched position. Ooh, just rushing a shot a little bit on that T-28 as he was moving out of position. So he's decided to go hide now. The M103 shows himself, bounces his shot, and then gets eliminated by the E75 after Failware put a shot through his side armour. So now's an opportunity for the Allies to push on this entrenched position. The E75, T-34 and that T-28 prototype. Ooh, nice shot through the side of that T-34 there. So they're going to have to try and push on these guys here as they're camping. But this game not going particularly well at the moment at 12 kills to 8. Ooh, very unfortunate to get a bounce on that one there. Just going to sit and... ooh, he's getting shot in the rear now, so he's going to have to push forward against a T-28 and an E-75, so he's either got a plan or he's got brass balls here. E-75 is going to be very difficult to take on head on, switching over to premium rounds there just to make sure he can get some damage on him. Luckily his ally, the other E-75, was able to come in there and offer some support. And here comes the rear guard action, the flanking manoeuvres. But Failware's able to take out that IS-7, and that is another Top Gun medal. Not another for him, but another for the replays that we are showing today. As you can see, he's only got 200 and some hit points left. Somehow the back chap managed to bounce that one and was set on fire. A little bit unfortunate that the E-75 had his shot there to try and take him out, but he wasn't to know that the fire was going to finish him off. Oh, the VK just having his shot there and missing, so Failware's just going to take all the time and... oh, no, I was going to say take all the time in the world, let his gun reload and pick his shot, but the VK's obviously got some repair skill in there. And was able to just get himself away. No shot through the rubble, although there is some of this AT-15 who takes him down to 5 hit points. That is so unlucky from that AT-15, not quite able to take him out, and then gets himself eliminated in return. Somehow that E-75 getting taken out by 87 hit point VK, so not really sure what was going on there. But looks like the VK getting a little bit too antsy, thinking that he can rush out and take out the last 5 hit points on this E5 of Failware, but no, rushed his shot, missed, and then Failware was able to just take him out, picking up 9 kills and hopefully going to go for the base capture here. Just going to speed this one up. Looks like the enemy is telling them where that artillery is. A little bit of a sly move there, doing that to your own teammate. But apparently he's AFK, although I'm pretty sure he had a shot earlier and took out Failware's tracks and did a good chunk of damage, so he wasn't AFK earlier. So it looks like maybe he's just decided that the game wasn't going his way. Their team wasn't doing particularly well, so he just thought, well, fuck this, I'm out. And just Alt F4'd his game, because it does in fact look like he is AFK. So there we go, Failware picks up kill number 10. Having an absolutely storming game there. And showing off his skills in the T110E5. So absolutely awesome replay. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like or favourite. Stick a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of the replays in today's video, or indeed having a guess at which tank and which map are featured in the thumbnail. First correct answer will win a shout out in the very next video, and a big congratulations. So that's going to be it for today's World of Tanks subscriber replays. Thanks very much for watching, everybody, and I will catch you next time.